everyone, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC with another 10ish-minute review. Hey, I hope everyone's having a great summer. I know everyone's busy. The views have been down, but I think that's because everybody's busy over the summer, and I haven't done as many as I have been doing. I'm going to try to change that, though, and I'm going to start with this one. So because of the effort I'm going to put forth, you know what that means? You know what that means. That's right. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button so you know when a video comes out. And please, as always, hit that like button because it does make a big difference. Okay. As everyone knows, I'm a big fan of the Singham movies. And somebody recommended another movie in the Singham Universe. Now, what I did find out, there's actually been 4 films within this universe. The third one was Simba with, what's his name? Ranveer Singh, which is not available for me to watch. I can't stream it. So I watched the 4th one, which is 2021's Sooryavanshi. Directed by Rohit Shetty, the action king, as we like to call him, and starring as Sooryavanshi, Akshay Kumar. Also in it, Katrina Kaif, who I know from Doom 3 and the Thugs of Hindostan, amongst other things. And I think she is very attractive and a great dancer, and she didn't disappoint in this film either. Ranveer Singh as Simba, who I just saw in '83, and I saw him in Padmavat. And yes, I have to say this. This is only 2021, so it's only been a couple of years. There are going to be. This is a spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen it, you probably don't want to watch it. So you'll be surprised. You've been consider yourself warned. Okay, so as I'm watching the movie, I did not know this was going to happen, although I knew at the beginning of the movie, Ajay Devgan as Singham narrates the opening about the 1993 bombing in Mumbai, which kind of sets up the storyline. But what I didn't know was, first, Simba's in the film from Simba the movie, and he has a great scene. And then in the climax of the film, Ajay Devgan shows up as Singham, and it is awesome. It's just awesome. So let's backtrack a little bit. So this film basically is about a terrorist organization that has a lot of RDX, very bad RDX. So they have to get the anti-terrorism squad, ATS, on the case, and that's Sooryavanshi, whose parents, you find out, were killed in that 93 blast, which, again, tonal shift, right? This movie was it was action-packed. It had some serious tones in it, and it was also very funny. But I will tell you, the opening scene really surprised me. There's an older couple walking around a market or something, and a bomb goes off, and it just everybody gets killed, and you find out later on it's Sooryavanchi's parents. You don't find that out till later on, but that's how it started, with actual footage from the devastation after Dubai. So now the terrorists have all escaped, and there's been, it's been quiet, but now they're coming back. And I don't need to get into the plot into much detail. I'm not going to do a recap of the story. But the anti-terrorism squad is trying to stop them from detonating the RDX, and they're going to do it in automobiles. Like I think it was 6 automobiles. It might have been more than that, but I thought it was 6. But the fun of these films is the action, and it is it's just great, over the top explosions. And this guy Akshay Kumar, I really like, and he had a funny trait where he couldn't remember anybody's name, and he called everybody the wrong name, which was a funny thread throughout the entire movie. I mean, there's some serious stuff in it. He's married to Katrina Kaif, and he gets in a car chase with the bad guys. Not a car chase, but a confrontation, and they start firing at each other, and the kid gets wounded. So now the wife wants to leave him. So that's a part of the plot also. But there's a lot of things I like. In a lot of these Indian movies, the cops are just bad. And and they're corrupt. And in the Singham universe, it's not like the cops are angels, because they're not. If you're a bad guy, they're going to mess you up pretty good. But they seem to be, out of all the movies I've seen, the most noble cops. In fact, some of the reviews I read, they're saying it's Indian propaganda. But I got to tell you, I like that, because I was a little tired of seeing all these corrupt cops in these Indian films, beating up people, taking bribes, all that stuff. So it's nice to see that in these uniforms, those beige uniforms, and they master the sunglasses. Okay, I was gonna wear my, I know I got sunglasses. I was gonna wear my sunglasses, but I just don't look as cool as these guys. Plus, my hair's gray. Theirs is jet black. Just magnificent, and they really work the glasses great. So as the movie progresses, they're trying to capture all the people in this cell. And there's a few highlights. Akshay does his own stunts, and he's riding a motorcycle through the city, just balls out. But he does this helicopter stunt, and reading into it, he actually did this where he's hanging on a real helicopter. And I'm like, wow, because I'm looking at him going, that doesn't look fake. It looks real. And I come to find out it is real. So he's got a bunch of great action scenes. And at one point, Katrina does a real sexy dance, and she's a good dancer. She really is. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So then they want to capture this one big guy, and he goes, "I have the perfect man for the job." And then it cuts to this warehouse, and the doors crash open, and there's Simba on the front of this car, crashing through, and he's got this big barbell mustache. Doesn't look like, I didn't recognize him at first from the two movies I've seen, 83 and Padmavat. But he was so funny, and they're doing the big fight scenes, and it's a great scene, but he's got humor throughout it. So very different than Singham, and different than Sooryavanshi. But I liked it, and I really want to see Simba now because of it. I really like that character, and I understand he's going to be, they're going to have a sequel with all three of them again. So that goes on. So then in the big climax of the film, the bad guys take over the anti-terrorist squad's building. And I don't know how many there were. There seemed to be 100 of them. So they got all the cops in there. And all of a sudden this car comes crashing through the gate. And as it's turning, you see the legs come out. And there he is. Ajay Devgan as Singham, and that theme song, Singham, I just love it. And that's the thing about these movies. One, they each had their own theme song, which was very cool. But then when they get together, they start making fun of each other. Like Suri, I keep messing up his name. Sooryavanshi says to him, "How come you always make an entrance out of a spinning vehicle?" And then he goes, "Why are you always hanging on to helicopters?" And the other guy says, "Yeah, that happens a lot." So they're self-aware of their own universe, which I thought was funny. And that scene goes on for a long time, and it's a great scene. And there's a lot of fighting, a lot of gunplay, and the three of them, the banter the three of them had was really, really good. So I love that, because I was not expecting it. Like when the first guy came, the cameo he made, because I hadn't seen the other film, I didn't know who it was. I just knew, wow, this is a really cool character. I've never seen this guy before. But when Singham showed up, because I didn't read anything before I watched this. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is too cool. And he does that thing where he jumps up and crushes the guy on the head, which I freaking love. He's just such a great character, because they're wailing on him and he's just brushing him off. It's just the coolest character. So I loved that. What else? Yeah, the fight was goofy with Simba, which I really liked. Moving car. And the climax was just big and loud. And of course, they set up a sequel, because the guy that kind of instigated the whole thing is back wherever he was. And he says he's going to come and get them. He was talking to Singham at the time. So he's coming after Singham. So, and I'll get to the credits. There's a big dance number at the end, which I also really love. But I do have a question. And this is where I'm a little confused about this film in particular. So this is an Indian film, and it really talks about the terrorism against India. Now, I know that in a lot of these, we've always said, well, another man's terrorist is another man's revolutionary, right? It depends which side you're on. So that's why this movie confused me. To me, the good guys are the Indians trying to uh, discover the terrorists and stop a terrorist plot. But the way they portray the terrorists, they almost seem noble. They almost seem justified in what they're trying to do. And that's the way they kind of portrayed them in the film. You know, it wasn't black and white hats. It wasn't good guys, bad guys. It was more nuanced than that. And I was confused by that in a film of this type. And it was also, and more so in this film than the other in this universe I've seen, talking about how religion is the thing that drives everybody apart. And if we could just get away from the religion, we could bring people together. Because there's one scene where a bombing happens and they're removing a god statue. And all the different religions get together to help carry it out. And it was like they're whacking you over the head with the message that it's trying to send. So I'm curious about that message. Is that this entire universe? Because I don't remember it in the other films. It was really, really pretty blatant what they were doing. Now, I mean, it's a good message, right? We want everyone to get along. But, you know, I don't know if that's the reality of the world. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. I'm really curious about that. Again, who's the good guys in this? It's an Indian movie, but it seemed to me that they made the bad guys maybe not look so bad. So yeah, listen, I love this movie. I love this universe. I cannot wait for another one. I want to see another Singham. I love the theme songs. And then they do again during the credits, they do this big dance number. And these guys, you know, they're not like elegant dancers. You know, it's I say this all the time, and it sounds sexist, and I apologize for it. But they dance like masculine guys would dance. And I love that because it's in character. And I noticed at one point, Ajay Devgan is practically laughing through the song. So it was good to see him. It looked like they're having a really good time. And I don't know what the three guys' relationships are, but they really seem to have chemistry that maybe they're friends. I don't know. But yeah, I really, really like this movie. So thank you for recommending it. And if anyone's got Simba and they can figure out a way to get it to me, I would love to watch that because that character made me laugh and I want to see more of him. So that's my 10ish minute review on this. I also want to give you a little heads up. Finally, we watched Dangal for the big show. And I'll probably drop this before because we're recording Dangal tonight. That probably will take a couple days to get out there. So I'll try to get this out before then. But check that out because that's a movie we've been wanting to watch for a long time. And especially me, because you know what a big fan of Amir Khan I am. And I will give you a little heads up. He did not disappoint in that film. It was a pretty spectacular performance. So check that out. I don't know what the next film is I'm going to do because there might be a little change to the programming for the next month. But we'll figure that out tonight on the big show. But I appreciate you guys watching this. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It was I really liked it. The reviews on it weren't great, but I really like this universe and I want to see a lot more. But I also want to get one of those camo outfits and a nice set of sunglasses like that and some black hairspray so I can go jet black. I'm going to do that in one of these shows, okay? Because that's the kind of commitment I have for you, my audience, okay? So because of that, you know what I'm going to ask from you. If I'm going to shellac my hair, you know what I want from you. That's right. That's right. I want you to subscribe. I want you to hit a notification button so you know when this just brilliant content comes out. And the last thing I ask you in total humbleness, please just tap that like button. No. Don't tap it. Smash it. Okay? Smash it. Would you do that for me? I would really appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Singham, 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 Singham.